Urban sprawl is affecting life, human growth, the environment, and society in general. Urban sprawl is the outward expansion of communities into neighboring places, and it is completely uncontrolled. It is a major issue as it can hurt many aspects of life, and usually grows into natural or rural areas. Some indigenous reserves have been run over with urban sprawl, which causes them to lose traditions, and they can't live life like they normally could. 80% of Canada's population lives in urban areas, so we're the ones overpopulating and expanding into these territories. The size of our urban areas impacts the quality of life of all citizens, and fewer Canadians can afford to live in urban areas. Sprawl is not an efficient use of space, as it's growing rapidly outwards instead of doing smart development and growing close together and upwards. Eventually, if urban sprawl continues, we'll run out of space and resources to continue living life as we normally would. Immigrants also cause mass growth. Immigrants often come to urban places, so the need for institutions and amenities increases. Highly populated places don't have the space to provide housing, work, and the things people need to live. They need more space in order to house more people, so they end up getting into urban sprawl. The continuous outward growth impacts the natural environment and humans in lots of ways. Small, sparsely populated areas need large networking systems for roads to connect with the city. It gives pressure on agricultural land and ruins the natural environment surrounding it. Using the agricultural space means less room for food production, which we need. Building on good, fertile land is irreversible, and it permanently destroys habitats and wildlife. These new networks of roads also mean more cars need to drive further. This decreases the air quality drastically, as cars produce greenhouse gases. In sprawling areas and cities, public transport isn't efficient and the general commute times increase. The water runoff of these paved roads can collect dangerous and toxic materials, which can wash into our drinking water, which is not safe. When urban sprawl happens, there aren't many local, easily accessible amenities, which causes people to drive more. People rely on their vehicles, and the low amount of physical activity can lead to many health issues, like heart disease, high blood pressure, and even diabetes. The air pollution from cars also causes smog, which can lead to other health issues. These change society as there's more sickness and people in need. This also affects the jobs in these areas. When more people have health concerns, more jobs are needed in hospitals and healthcare. The government needs to provide more funding for jobs so that they can still thrive. Urban sprawl causes funding problems as income rates change. The government has to provide money for education, crime prevention, and general maintenance, and they don't have the money for that. The government leans more toward urban growth and sprawl because they receive money for it. When the government gets involved, they influence growth. This causes huge disparity for the economy. The different places people live cause income rates to change. Their money is given unequally, which causes job loss in many areas, especially in the forestry industry and the farmland industry. Sprawl causes less funding available and more tax. House prices have gone up, and as soon as multiple residents live in a singular home, the tax goes up. This is causing more people to sprawl because suburban housing is more affordable. There are lots of things that we can do to reduce and prevent sprawl. The government can implement zoning laws to control the amount of outward growth. If we create zoning laws and boundaries, we can influence planning to build upward instead of outwards. If we improve public transportation, we can make concentrated transit easier and faster. We can encourage people to redevelop unused buildings instead of tearing them down. This makes it easier to live locally and still maintain the characteristics of the urban places we live. By redoing local buildings and homes, we can have less reliance on cars, and our walkability to places is easier. Although these are things that the government can do, we can do things on our own too. One of the best things that we can do is just to support local businesses. By supporting locals, we create better economic opportunities for people living in downtown urban areas. So, urban sprawl is a huge issue and we need to do something about it. If you've seen this video, take what I've said and put it into action. Sprawl does not benefit us in the long run, and we need to stop it before it gets out of hand. Build upwards, support local businesses, reuse buildings, do whatever you can to stop urban sprawl. Thank you for listening to my presentation.